Hey cuties, I'm Lanikia and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is the Young and the Restless edition. Today is Wednesday, November the 2nd, 2022. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give it a 7. It was solid. We see Jack, Summer, and Kyle. They have made it back from the honeymoon and they're having pleasantries. Just happy to see you guys back. How did you enjoy it? We really enjoyed it. Everything was great. And then Ashley comes in. She said, "Stop the BS. Go ahead and tell them about Diane and Tucker." And they said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Your mama has been lying to you, Kyle." And so then Ashley leaves. And so Jack is forced to tell Kyle and Summer about Diane and her involvement with Tucker. And he says, "Well, Ashley doesn't know the whole story. The other part of the story is that a man, I believe, his name was Marcus or Maurice. But anyways, he was actually the one who got Diane involved. She thought they were in love, and the next thing she knew he was using it as her as a money mule." I'm sorry. I still don't believe that it's the whole story. Diane was up to something else. That's too easy. It's too convenient. But anyways, so Kyle is very upset. Summer is upset, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe my mom did this. Like, how did you find this information out?" He said, "Diane actually told me." And then Jack threw Phyllis under the bus, and he said because Phyllis was still looking into it, and I guess she felt the walls closing in. So she was the one who actually went ahead and told me what had happened. But Kyle is still like, she's been lying to us. A part of me feels bad about what she went through, but another part of me is upset because for months we've been asking her to tell, and she's been saying, "I everything is out in the open. I've told you everything." And now Summer is mad at Phyllis because she said, "My mom said she stopped looking, but she was looking." I said, "Jack, you really didn't have to tell that part. You don't go around telling everything else." And then he says, "Don't tell anybody about Diane being used as a money laundering mule." I said, okay, Jack, just be with Diane. Just be with Diane. And I know y'all like Diane and y'all like Jack with her. So go ahead and let them be together. Because Phyllis, you deserve better than this. You really do. And so they're upset and they're conflicted. They don't know what to do. So then Diane runs into Tucker and she walks up to him and says, "You can't intimidate me with your threats and everything." And Tucker was just like, why does she always do that? Because Tucker was just sitting there minding his business, having his breakfast. And she was like, "You can't intimidate me." And then he says, "You went ahead and got ahead of it. You told what you wanted to be told. So it seems like everything's all good." That's a funny word, seems, doesn't it? And she says, "What does this mean?" Now Diane is looking at Tucker very nervous because she's like, "What, Tucker? What's going on? What are you talking about? It feels like it's an underlying threat with that." He said, "No threat. I'm cool." He said, "You ruined half of my plan, but the other half I still got going." So then we find out that Diane was actually supposed to get her hands on Jabot's financial information, but she didn't get to it. I said, "Well, is that why she wanted the job so bad with Jabot? Because all of a sudden she needed to work." But we all know that Tucker was probably funding her when she was staying at the Grand Phoenix. Tucker was probably paying for that because she's been working for him. So now all of a sudden, remember Diane was like, "Kyle, I need a job," and all this, and he offered her a job at Marchetti. And she said, "Well, I didn't have enough access to get to that information, Tucker." He said, "We'll never know, but okay." And I said, Tucker, guys, he has to know something else about Diane that she doesn't even know that he knows. I'm sorry, I don't believe that this was the only thing. So he said, she said, "Why would you, if you love Ashley so much, why would you try to take the company away from her?" He said, "Who said I was taking the company away from Ashley?" And I said, "Well, Tucker, what you doing? You need to be over here helping Devon get revenge on Victoria and Nate. I mean, if y'all gonna do it all the way." So then we see Sally and Adam. So Sally and Adam are talking. She's packing up her desk, and he really is there to see Chloe. And he's like, "What's going on?" And she said, she lets him know she got fired and that she hasn't seen Chloe. Chloe's out of town, and they haven't even got to tell her that they lost their jobs. And he was like, "What? Why would they get rid of you? Like you're great at your job." And she was like, "It is what it is." And then he tried to tell her that it's because of Nick. Nick doesn't want her anymore. He just used her to get back at him, and now he's done with her. And so that's why. And Sally don't want to hear all this. And she just tells him, "When I see Chloe, I'll let her know what's going on, that you're looking for her and what's going on with Chelsea, and I hope everything works out." But Sally got her own problems to deal with right now. So then we move on and Victor is having a chess match over the computer with Faith. And so Ashley comes in and they sit there and they talk politely. And she said, "Did you know about Tucker?" He said, "Yes, but I'm letting Nikki handle all that." And she said, "Okay." Then Phyllis comes in and Victor's like, "Look at you three beauties. Who would have thought that that somebody would pull you three together to have to work together?" And Diana do that. And so, anyways, when he leaves, Phyllis, Nikki, and Ashley talk, and they feel them. If Ashley fills them in on Diane, and they said, Phyllis said, "I knew it. We all knew it." And she was like, "So tell me, how did Jack react? Did he scream? Did he fuss? Did he throw it out?" And Ashley said, "Child, Jack is really conflicted in his emotions for Diane." And Phyllis said, "You got to be kidding me." And she said, "I kid you not. Jack don't know. Jack is still feeling some type of way about Diane. So there's nothing new to report on that end. He still thinks that Diane, he's still trying to give her the benefit of the doubt." And Nikki's like, "His feelings for her must go way deeper than what we thought. Oh my gosh, I can't believe he's even doing that." And they were like, "Yeah." So then Nikki and Phyllis are just, they can't believe, and they're like, what are we going to do?" And Ashley tells them, "Listen, I'm still not convinced that that's all Tucker had Diane doing for him. I think there's more to this story." And they're like, "Of course there is." So as they're talking, Phyllis just becomes livid that Jack is willing to give Diane the benefit of the doubt, and he's not willing to give her. And you know what? I like Phyllis. She comes with her own brand of calm down, Phyllis, please. But I still like Phyllis, and I'm with her. Jack couldn't forgive Phyllis because she set him up, even though she had every right. Like, look how you treat Diane. She had every right to want to mark her territory, but you couldn't forgive her for that. But you can forgive Diane for being dead and leaving your son. And now you could forgive her for the lies that she's been telling all these months and using Allie to try to get in. I mean, you can forgive all of that, but you can't forgive Phyllis. Phyllis, move on. Move on from this man. So Phyllis said, "All right, it's my turn." And they said, "What you gonna do?" She said, "I'm going over there to tell them, put an end to this with Diane. I'm going to tell them, what are y'all gonna do?" So Phyllis goes over there to see Kyle, and Summer was like, "Oh my gosh, let her in." I said, Summer has no loyalty. God, no loyalty. She's more loyal to her husband's family than she is to her mom. So Phyllis comes in, and Summer tells Phyllis, because Phyllis said she wanted to speak to Jack, and they said, "If you're wanting to speak to Jack about Diane, we already know." And she says, "Okay, good." And Summer says, You lied to us. You lied to us about everything that you were doing. You never stopped researching Diane." And Phyllis said, "No, I didn't. And it's a good thing I didn't, because look, she's been lying this whole time. Y'all can be mad at me. I can't believe you're mad at me, but you could be mad. But I knew the truth. And I've been telling y'all the truth all these months, that Diane wasn't this goody two shoes that y'all said she was. I've been telling y'all that this whole time." And so she said, "So what are you going to do, kids? Now that you know Diane is a liar and she hasn't changed, what are y'all going to do?" And so they just looking at Phyllis. And so then we go to Nick and Victoria. And Victoria tries to bring him in a coffee. He said, "If you think this is going to make up for what you've done, it's not, sister. I'm upset with you about the way you've treated Sally." And so then she's just like, what? Then she's just like, "What I did with Sally is for the best for the company. Like, she's not qualified." That just is what it is. And Nick says, and she said, "Your relationship with her was too close." And he was like, "Nate is not any more qualified than what Sally was." And honestly, who is Victoria to tell anybody about somebody's relationship? And he says, "Do you have a policy about no fraternization but among employees? Is there a new policy that now that I didn't know about?" And she was like, "No, but no, y'all trying to control Nick's life. I'm sorry. That's what y'all trying to do." And so then Victor comes in and he says, "It's a good thing that you're no longer with Sally." And so Nick starts that Sally's no longer with the company. And so Nick starts defending Sally about, he said, the numbers are up. Everything looks good. She missed one meeting. People miss meetings all the time. And he was like, you can't justify getting rid of her. And Victor was like, this sounds kind of personal. And then Victor and it behooved me that Victor and Victoria had the nerve to sit there all just, well, we're done with Sally, and that's the end of the discussion. And you don't need her in your life, personal or business, and all that. When it behooves me that y'all sitting there doing this, when Victoria, you brought Ashlyn in, and he was about to take you out, and Nick had to come save you. And then Victor, you ruined it. You gave Nick nightmares because you would have moved Ashlyn's body. So y'all did all this to Nick, controlling his life and him helping y'all out. And now y'all are trying to act like you can pass some type of judgment on his judgment of wanting to be with Sally. Like, get out of here with that. And so Nick is just like, we're not going to agree on this. So we're going to just agree to disagree. So he goes to Crimson Lights, and you could tell Nick, he's loosening up that tie, and he's looked like he having a rough day because he's frustrated. And then here comes Adam after he ran trying to run Billy and them down because he don't know what's going on with Chelsea. Here comes Adam, and he's confronting Nick, talking about, you use Sally, and now that you're done with her, you just try to get back with me, and now that you're done with her, you had her dismissed. And Nick said, you don't know what you're talking about. Leave me alone. Like, I've had a rough day. Leave me alone, Adam. I don't know what you got going on, but leave me alone. And then Sally comes in and she's like, gentlemen, is everything okay? And Nick says, Adam just had a rough day and he's trying to take it out on me. And so Adam is just like, because Nick asked Sally, are you okay? And she said, look at him. Adam said, look at him. The fur and the brow, the concerned puppy dog eyes. That's the whole MO. And Nick said, shut up. Because he was sick of Adam at that point. and Sally said, I don't know what y'all got going on, but I'm a big girl. I can handle this on my own. So Adam finally leaves because he said, I have more important things to do. Oh, really? Really? Because you've been all in Sally's face. But anyways, Adam leaves, and Nick just really tells Sally, how are you? And she says, I'm a big girl, so I'm gonna have to do what I gotta do, and that's just it on that. And so he's like, okay. And so then we see that she tells him, because he wants to help her out and make some calls and stuff, and she says, I know it's gonna be hard for you, but I need to do this on my own, because everybody said you got that job because of Adam. Then if she had stayed, you stayed because of Nick, because he did fight for her and everything. So she wants to do it on her own. And she wants to make moves without a man helping her or anyone's assistance. And I'm like, okay, Sally, I get that. And y'all, that was Young and the Restless today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you tomorrow for an all new episode of What Happened on the Soaps Young and the Restless edition. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.